So, to start the second day of this enriching conference, let's invoke the blessings of Goddess Saraswati for wisdom, success. So, we shall now begin with the traditional lamp lighting, and I request all the dignitaries to please come forward for the same. Thank you, everyone. Yesterday's inaugural session set a remarkable tone with insightful addresses and global perspectives. Today promises to be equally enriching as we delve deeper into cutting-edge innovations across engineering, management, and technology. As the renowned management thinker Peter F. Drucker famously said, innovation is the specific instrument of entrepreneurship, the act that endows resources with a new capacity to create wealth. This profound insight reminds us that true innovation is not just about new ideas, it is about transforming knowledge, resources, and collaboration into real values and progress. These values perfectly resonate with today's global conference on emerging trends and innovations. We shall now proceed with the series of keynote speakers that will illuminate the latest advancements and future directions in the field. So, we now invite our first keynote speaker of the morning session, Dr. Preeti Gulia, Head of the Department of Computer Science and Applications, Maharishi Dayana University, Yadav. Professor Dr. Preeti is having 20 years of experience in computer science. Her research interests include software testing, IoT, blockchain, machine learning, cybersecurity, and big data. She has made notable contributions to academia through teaching, research, guidance, and departmental leadership at NTU. She has published more than 150 research papers in reputed journals, from which more than 60 are in SCI/SCIE index journals, having 15.7 highest impact factor. She has been member of various international and national academic bodies like ACM, IITM, CSE, etc. I would like to invite Dr. Preeti Gulia ma'am to please come forward to accept a token of gratitude from our college, and I request Dr. Vandana Abbas ma'am to please give a Thank you. And I request Professor Dr. Preeti Gulia ma'am to come forward on the stage to address everyone.
First of all, good morning to all of you, and I am thankful to all the members of and the organizing committee of this great event. And it's a great opportunity to be the part of this event, and I wish the success of this particular event. Today I am sharing the ideas on the emerging trends and the innovation in today's era. As we know that the digital transformation is the basic research area, and these are the trends with the help of which new innovations can be done. We are in the era of the digital transformation that changes the world with a high pace. And on the basis of these emerging trends and the innovation, a paradigm shift is going on. All these trends and innovations are important because these kept all the companies or all the innovative ideas in a self-pace with the help of which the technology is increasing day by day, and it increases the efficiency and reduce the cost of manual power. Such as these trends or the landscapes are to be justified with the help of different types of engineering landscapes. Here we can include the artificial intelligence, cloud computing, we can include IoT. Rather than that, we also can include the concepts of the blockchain, and with the help of that, the key pressures and the opportunities can be defined, and the society can be changed with all these. And why this digital transformation or why the engineering landscape is necessary in today's era, that is due to the alert crisis, due to the manual execution, and due to the data deluge. In case of alert crisis, as we know that this alert fatigue crisis, where more than one alerts are to be represented to the engineering aspects, and on the basis of those aspects, it's very difficult to handle these alerts day by day, and the manual execution of different programs or different problems are very difficult. That's why the landscape related to the engineering is very necessary, or the automation is necessary in that context. The same thing is also happened with the manual execution, because in the traditional engineering works, we can characterize the things on the basis of the manual execution, where the direct code, authorship and the step-by-step execution of the things can't handle all the things very efficiently. That's why it is necessary to collaborate the artificial intelligence tool to make the output valid and to redefine the automated decisions. So it is also necessary to make the engineer orchestrate to intelligent and the autonomous system. That's why again the engineering landscape in today's era is necessary, and the digital transformation is also valid in this case. And the third reason is the data reuse, because the large amount of data is to be generated day by day, and this enormous data is very difficult to handle, and it's very difficult to make the decision from that data. Because when the large amount of data is present, then it's very difficult that how that data is to be predicted and how the decisions are to be made on the basis of that prediction. So the prediction is very difficult with this large volume of data. That's why the things are to be made imperative. And with that imperative technology here, the artificial intelligence models are to be deployed. And on the basis of that deployment, the sensitive project and the intellectual property data can be used to make the prediction and for the decision making purpose. That's why we will go with the automation process and the process of the digital transformation. So in case of this digital transformation, first of all, artificial intelligence is considered as the engine of the transformation. The artificial intelligence becomes the nervous system of the modern engineering operation where the automated agent manage all the things and all those automated agents can perform very efficiently and the decision making become very easy in that case and things are become automated in nature. After that, in terms of AI, as we know that the artificial intelligence consists number of branches in earlier days or in the traditional ways. The artificial intelligence is to be justified on the basis of weak artificial intelligence, general artificial intelligence, strong artificial intelligence. But the things are not very reluctant in that case. That's why the artificial intelligence is to be developed day by day and there are number of enhancements made in area of artificial intelligence where the artificial intelligence is to be justified on the basis of generative AI and on the basis of agentic AI. In case of generative AI and the agentic AI here, the artificial intelligence is to be represented on the basis of different kinds of agents. And these agents completely change the environment of the artificial intelligence. Here, the reasoning becomes independent, the project autonomy is to be defined or the projects are to be deployed on the basis of the requirement of the person or the user and the things are to be carried out automatically after the written code and the things happen. And with that, the end-to-end automation redefining the scope and the nature of the engineering goals with the help of which the engineering can be transformed, where the management is also involved with this and the things are to be managed in such a way where the management provides the flexibility and the focus on the main points that what the user wants and how the things can be carried out. All these things are done automatically or simply we can say that the pipelining automation can be used for that purpose. Then we can observe the AI power on the basis of the cutting edge. And as we use this, then on the basis of the AI powered observability, the time per flight is represented on the basis of 33% where the time can be reduced and on the basis of that the double related to the signal correlations are to be justified and here we can reduce the time, we can reduce the measurement and the system can be made reliable on the basis of this. The generative AI and the agentic AI and the product development. As we know that the agentic AI and the generative AI, all these are the concepts which accelerate the design, get autonomous the compliance and the testing and on the basis of this, the real world adoptions can be used in this area. And the real world adoption can be justified with the help of different application area in the real world such as the WebGenX platform and the Agent Force platform. These are the platforms which are acquired by different companies to make the efficient deployment of their application and to make the decisions. After that, the machines can perform as the decision makers. The machines as the decision makers justified on the basis of the edge intelligence, on the basis of the quality inspection and the humanoid robots can use for this. As the decisions are to be carried out, then here the machine get the signals or perceive the environment on the basis of sensory data or here we can acquire the data from IoT devices. And in that case, the sensors and the actuators helps to make the decision and on the basis of the quality inspection of the data. After that, the system is to be deployed and to get the functionality like the human, Here we can use the humanoid robots such as the Hyundai's Atlas robot that is to be deployed on the basis of live assembly lines to make the landmark in the industries or to make the autonomous corporations. Cloud, quantum and the data management. These are the technologies with the help of which we also can make the automation or the things can be carried out in a flexible way and in an efficient manner. If we go with the cloud, then here the scale, sensitivity and the complexity can be handled with the help of the sovereign distributed models. Such as here you can see the cloud, this can justify the sovereign, hybrid and the distributed network to the users. And on the basis of these things here, the data residency regulations can be driven out with the cloud and the cloud can store the data. Or we simply can use the rent policy. Here the data can be acquired. Here the infrastructure can be acquired on the rent or on the basis of the demand of the user. So here the demand of the user can be used to make the system efficient. Hybrid architecture can be used on the basis of the infrastructure of the cloud services or the hybrid models. These can be achieved and the decentralized network reduce the dependency on the single mega provider that improve the resilience and that lower the latency and enable the regional AI models to deploy at different scales. And in the same way, we also can go with the concept of big data with the help of cloud. We know that a large amount of data is generated day by day and 175 zettabytes. That is the global data generated in 2025. And as we have this large volume of data, then how the data is to be handled? So it's very difficult to handle this data and on the basis of the demand-based concept of the cloud services, here 75% things can be reduced, or you can say that the difficulty level can be reduced on the basis of the structured and unstructured type of data, and on the demand based the user can use the cloud services and can perform sophisticated analysis, and on the basis of that analysis the decisions can be made. And in the same way, here 30% cost can be saved due to that, because the cloud provides the services related to the softwares, related to the infrastructure and related to the platforms. So here we can acquire the platform, we can get the infrastructure and we also can get the software specification for the decision making purpose. And like the cloud computing and the big data, the IoT also provided the smart infrastructure where the devices are to be connected with each other and communicate with each other. Such as nowadays in the smart home concept, each and every device of the home is connected with each other and the person can remotely use that or control that. So here the IoT also provides the specification on the basis of the connection of the devices to handle all the data remotely, and the edge computing where the latency can be reduced and on the basis of the data, that as the data is to be acquired from the devices and on the basis of the sensors and the actuators. So the real-time analytics also can be used at that time and on the basis of that the performance can be done. तो परफॉर्मेंस भी हमारी वहाँ पे इंक्रीज हो सकती है अगर हम सेंसरी डाटा या एक्चुएटेड डाटा को यूज करके कोई भी डिसीजन अपना लेते हैं। उसी तरीके से जब हम यहाँ पे बात करते हैं IoT डिवाइसेस की, then the quantum computing or the quantum artificial intelligence is also used, and that quantum outperformance where the things are to be solved from the unsolvable concepts. The quantum artificial intelligence provides the solutions to the user with higher speed. जैसे हम ट्रेडिशनल डाटा की बात करते हैं, ट्रेडिशनल डाटा में स्पीड हमारी स्लो होगी, लेकिन जब हम क्वांटम कंप्यूटिंग की बात करते हैं, then it provides the processing on the basis of the supercomputers. तो क्वांटम हमें एक फास्ट कंप्यूटिंग प्रोवाइड करती है जिससे हम इजीली और एक फास्ट पेस के साथ अपने डिसीजंस को ले सकते हैं। Then the concept of digital twin. This is the emerging trend in the era of engineering and in the era of technology. Digital twin की अगर हम बात करें, then the digital twin, these are virtual models, or simply we can say that we can make the replica of any of the system. तो यहाँ पे डिजिटल ट्विन की हमें क्यों जरूरत होती है? क्योंकि जब हम कोई भी रेप्लिका बनाते हैं या कोई भी एक हम वर्चुअल मॉडल बनाते हैं, सो these digital twins can be used in those situations where the human being can't perform. For example, अगर हम बात करते हैं अंडर वाटर कॉन्सेप्ट्स की, फॉर एग्जाम्पल अंडर वाटर क्रैश डिटेक्शन, तो एक ह्यूमन बीइंग के लिए बहुत डिफिकल्ट होगा फॉर ए लॉन्ग टाइम टू स्टे इन अंडर वाटर कंडीशंस। तो उन केसेस में हम यहाँ पे डिजिटल ट्विन्स को यूज कर सकते हैं। एंड द अंडर वाटर क्रैश डिटेक्शन, दैट इज द करंट रिसर्च एरिया, क्योंकि अगर हम बात करें द क्लीनलीनेस of the rivers such as the Ganga river and the Yamuna river, तो कैसे हम उस ट्रैश को डिटेक्ट करेंगे? तो उन केसेस की अगर हम बात करते हैं तो वहां पे हमारा डिजिटल ट्विन हमारे लिए हेल्पफुल होगा। And the basis of this, we simply can say that it provides the real-time synchronization. It can test the system and the system can be simulated as the human being performs. And on the basis of that, the maintenance can be predictive and the optimized performance can be achieved with the help of digital twins. After that, we will talk about the concept of the human-robot collaboration. अगर हम robots की बात करते हैं तो simply robotic concept हमारा use होगा where the action, manipulation and all others navigations can be done using the robots. Where we will use only the part of the robot to justify the things. We can use the camera just to see the things. We can use the arm for the manipulation. But all the things are not to be justified with the help of robot only. So for that, it is necessary to collaborate the human being as well as robots. और अगर हम collaboration की बात करते हैं, then here we will go with the concept of cobots. That is the collaborative robot, where the human engineer shares the task environment and according to that the things can be handled physically and on the basis of the repetitive natures. And as this repetitive nature is to be defined, and here we use the augmented reality, mixed reality and the wearable concepts. Wearable, अगर हमारे पास devices हैं, we can also make the decision with the help of the augmented reality and with the help of mixed reality. Here the virtual reality is also associated with augmented reality and the things can be justified in the 2D and the 3D aspects. So we can get the idea that how the things can be carried out or the how works can be performed. और कोई भी वर्क जब हम एक simulated environment में perform करते हैं, then we can make the decision easily. So here the things can be done on the basis of the collaboration of these recent trends in the engineering and the technological aspects. After that, the labor shortages can also be addressed with the help of cobots or the robot collaboration, because the things are not to be carried out human being each and every time. So it is necessary to handle the things, the collaboration of the robots. So the labor also can be addressed in this concept. Then the management of data. The management of data in terms of engineering aspects can be based on the version control and the change management. Here different versions can be used to store the data and different change managements can be applied on that. और कोई भी डेटा जब हम अपना हैंडल करते हैं या कोई भी डेटा हमारा मैनेज होगा, then the things can be carried out according to the change management that provides the highly leadership to the reality. And this leadership can expand the oversights, can delegate the judgment and can provide the AI literacy. And as the AI literacy enhanced, then the competency will be increased, always in the government tools, and the trust can be enhanced. And for that, we can use the future where the things are to be adapted to accelerate the technology and to accelerate the management to make the decisions. And when the data is to be managed, then the agile and the lean management. These are the approaches used in the management with the engineering and the technological aspects. अगर agile या lean methodology की हम बात करते हैं, then the agile management focuses on the flexibility and on the continuous improvement. And apart from this, the lean management focuses on reducing the waste and maximizing efficiency. And these two approaches reshape that how the engineer or how the corporate plan, build and deliver the solution in the era of the technological change. So we can use the concept of the agile and the lean management in the era of the technological transformation. Digital transformation, that is also used to integrate the technology to make the changes, and data-driven decision making. And this data-driven decision making concept shows that how the decisions are to be done only on the basis of the data required by the user. कैसे हमने डाटा को एक्सेप्ट किया, कैसे हमने उस डाटा को एनालाइज किया, कैसे हमने अपनी कोई भी प्रेडिक्शन उस डाटा पे अप्लाई किया और क्या हमें वहाँ पे कर रिजल्ट मिला. So the data-driven decision makings and the customer-centric innovations can be based on the concept of the digital transformation, that is reshaping the technological aspects. Remote work, this is the engineering without the boundaries. And the great example of the remote work is the time जब कोरोना को हमने फेस किया. So the remote working is also the emerging trend or the innovative ideas where the person can perform remotely and the person can work on remote locations. It is not necessary to perform all the work in person or face to face. So for that, the remote work is beyond the boundaries that increase the collaboration on the basis of the distributed environment. And here the cloud development environment is also helpful in this on the basis of the asynchronous communication and on the basis of the talent access globally. Data-driven decision making from gut feel to the ground truth. When we go with the data-driven decision making, then completely based on data. जो डाटा हमने एक्वायर किया है, जो डाटा हमने एनालाइज किया है, उसके बेसिस पे हम डिसीजन ले सकते हैं. एंड इन कंटेक्स्ट ऑफ आवर रियल वर्ल्ड सिनेरियो, अगर हम बात करें कि क्लास में हमारे पास स्टूडेंट कितने होते हैं या अगर उनकी परफॉर्मेंस को हमें जज करना है, then on the basis of their class test we can check that how the student perform and what is the grading of that student. And according to that we can analyze that which student is best and which student can't perform in better way. So these are some scenarios with the help of which the decisions can be made on the basis of the data. So this is all about the concept of emerging trends and the innovation. And in concluding words, I just want to say that the technological transformation is the important part with the help of which a new scenario can be created and the continuous learning can be acquired, because it should be very important to keep updated ourselves. So if there is any question, then you can. So thank you so much. Welcome to everyone.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for such valuable insights and perspectives. Moving ahead, it is my privilege to welcome Professor Dr. Nanhay Singh, Professor, Department of Computer Science and Engineering, Netaji Subhas University of Technology, NSUT, New Delhi. Professor Nanhay Singh is an accomplished educator and researcher with years of teaching experience. He has served as head of the CSE department at NSUT East Campus and has published many research papers in reputed international journals and conferences. He has organized multiple international conferences, supervised PhD scholars, and delivered expert talks on various emerging topics in computer science and engineering. I request Mr. Anurag Patel sir to please come forward and give away a green welcome to Professor Singh. Thank you. I now invite Professor Dr. Nanhay Singh sir to address the gathering.
Good morning to all organizers of the international conference, faculty members, respected faculty members, dear students. I am thankful for giving me the opportunity to deliver an expert talk on the topic of the international conference, emerging trends and innovation in engineering, management and technology. The title of this conference is very good. Is very effective, as you know. Yes, we are talking at this conference, there is a discussion about the engineering and the technology and the management and the innovation. We see, yes, if we talk the science, give the theory, and the engineering build the system, and the technology develop the tools. So whenever a theory is implemented and build the system and some tools are developed, if there is no effective use of built system or the developed system or the implemented system, there is no effective utilization. There is no effective utilization, and there is no effective utilization, then this theory or the built system, developed system, there is no impact on society or the research area or the industry or the organization. So for the best equation of the built system or the developed system or the implemented system, so there is the role of management. How the developed system or the built system may be best utilized, may be best utilized or the managed, and if the built system or the developed system may be best utilized, then there is the impact on the society. So the title of this conference is very effective, is very good. So in the present scenario, and you are mentioning, yes, to develop the system in the effective way or the best way, how the latest technologies are playing important role, are evolving or the involving. So yes, in the present scenario, for the best management of the developed system, so there is the important role in present scenario, the machine learning or the artificial intelligence or the AI, RAG, yeah, we can say that the latest technologies. So to keep the topic of the conference, I prepared some slides and some material to impart for the gathering. So you are looking, yes. Yes, you are looking over here. Uh, yes, you are looking over here. There is the science and the engineering and the technology and the management. So I have discussed to you yes how these collaborations, how these three things, science, engineering, technology, develop or implement the system, and without the effective use of the developed system, there is no meaning, there is no impact. So for the best implementation of the developed system or the implemented system, so there is the use of the management. So if we look to how when the system may be ineffective, okay, yes, we have developed the system. We are looking, yes, the engineers or the scientists develop the system. They are not taking the views. Yeah, they are not taking. Yeah, they are not taking the views from the management side. So there is no connection between the engineers. There is no connection between the management side. We can say that there is the one drawback over here, the siloed thinking. Yes, in the siloed thinking means if whenever we are going to develop the system, there is no communication between the system, then the effectiveness or the accuracy or the performance will be goes down. Or we can say that the redundant work may be produced, or the accuracy will be degraded, or the performance will be degraded. So for that, so this is the one drawback of the goal of the goal may be also affected, and we cannot reach at the goal within the up to the time. The time is allocated. If we look a good idea giving person may not be the good implementer, a good developer. So that's why there is some communication gap. There is some communication gap. To overcome this communication gap, we should know about what is the structure of the system, how we can make the system effectively, how we make the communication with the system effectively. So first of all, we should know, yes, how we can design the system, what is the nature of the system. So we are looking in this slide. This is the disconnected system. It means engineers develop the system without taking the knowledge, without keeping the points or the strategies from the management side. And sometimes we see a management person apply the AI tools or the latest technology, but they don't know what is the actual designing of the system, how that system is developed. So it means we can say that there is some disconnection, and there is no interaction, there is no communication between the layers of the system. So to overcome this miscommunication or the communication between the system, we should know yes how the system is developed. So if we look the system, if all these components combined collaborate and communicate to each other, so then the technology, design technology or the developed technology may impact over the society or the industry or the research or the organization. So these are some pillars of the innovation. So I think this is the title of the conference, how that developed technology, developed theory, developed system may impact over the society or the organism. If you look the systems, so what is the nature of the system, how we understand how the system may work. what is the nature of the system? So first there are some type of the system which work in the market, in the industry or the research or the organization or the business company or business industry. First one is the monolithic system. In monolithic system, all the components of a system are tightly bound, and the dependency in the monolithic system is very high, and all components of the system may all the components of the system dependent to each other. So in this system, in the first in this system, in monolithic system, very very difficult for the scalability, for the load balancing, because that all components are very dependent to each other. It is very difficult to scale the system. So it means all the components are independent, are not work independent. So this is the monolithic system. So after that, the next systems comes in the market of microservices. Microservices means each services may work the independent work on work, but in previous one, the all system work on a combined data or the cerebral data, and if the system if the one component is failure in the first one, then the complete system will go down. And to overcome this shortage and discrepancy for the monolithic system, so we designed the microservices system. In microservices system, we developed the services, microservices of the each component of the each component, and all services are working over here independently, and all services are working on their own data. They are not dependent the data of the other services data. So if one services may go down, then the other services will not affect it, and the system will be continued. And the fault we can scalable the system. We announce the system. If the requirement is announced at any time, then we can add one more services in the system, and other system will not affect it. But in the previous one, it is very difficult to implement, to announce, to scale, and the system as per the requirement increased at any time. And in microservices, the load balancing we can do easily. If any service is executing on a particular server, then at that time the server is busy, and if the new service is coming, then the particular server is busy, then that service, the other services may redirect or routed to the other server, which server is in the idle condition or which is the free. So we can balance the load balancing we can do. Yeah, we can say that we can scale the system in the horizontal scaling or the vertical scaling. Means vertical scaling, yes, if the services are required more computation, then we can enhance the computation power or the storage power. So it means there is the easy task to scale the system, but not previous one. So this is the concept of the microservices. If we talk about the industry, about the product industry, there is one product industry. So there are some component in the system like the product management, and the inventory, and the card, and the delivery system. So each component are working independently. So it means so we can say that each component is referred as a separate microservices. So they are not affecting the work of the other other components or the microservices. So it means we can say that yes, we enhance this system, we scale the system very easily. And if one component or the one microservice goes down failure, then there is no effect on the other microservices. So this service, this type of the system is very effective and announced the overcome of the shortage which was available in the previous one, in the monolithic. After that, there is a new concept comes in the market, that is the serverless. Serverless means we can say that this is the one another model of the computation in which we are not providing all the jobs are not executing at the server, or we can say that this type of the computation is referred by the cloud computing. In the cloud computing, there is no dedicated server. Yes, in the client server model, the client sends the request to the server and server executes the request of the particular client. But in this concept, there is no dedicated or the specialized server, and this type of computation, cloud computation, it is referred to the serverless, in which the computation or the services, the computation or the storage may be provided to the each node, to the job node. So this concept eliminates the requirement of the server. So if we talk the cloud computing, we can use, there is the one model for the execution that works as a map reduce parallel programming model. Map reduce parallel programming model. So there are the two functions work in this type of the computation, in this type of the system. Map distribute the job to the different side, to the different node, to the different side. And there is the another function, that is the reduce function. The reduce function combine or the integrate the result which were assigned to the different node by the map function, and the reduce function integrate the result from the different nodes, and after combining the result, integrating the result, produce the final output. So that is the model which is used in the cloud computing model or the serverless system, serverless computation. So for this, there are some specialized file system which support this type of the computation. HDFS, Hadoop Distributed File System. Hadoop Distributed File System work with the concept that I was referred, map reduce parallel programming model. Map function work as a master node and the reduce function work as a slave node. Map function as a master node and the reduce function work as a slave node. So this concept, so it means we can say that whenever the big problem comes to a particular site, a particular node, then big problem may be decomposes into a number, into a subtask, and that those subtasks and subprograms may be allocated to the different node for the computation, and that at that nodes the computation may be provided. So it means there is no requirement of the server for executing this type of a job. And the reduce function may collaborate, may collect the result from these particular allocated jobs. So, and there is one more file system that support in the cloud computing, that is the Google file system. In Google file system is also, one is the master node and one is the server node and one is the chunk server. So the Google file system also works on the cloud computation concept. So this, so if we are looking, yes, this is also the cloud computation model. And in project scenario, there is a very important role in healthcare system, in inventory control system, in energy system, in education system, in industry system, in research orientation. So cloud computing plays an important role. If we talk about the healthcare system, there are a number of the patients, and these patients and the data or the some reports and the some medical images of a patient may be put on a specific area, and those specific area we store over the cloud, and this and from that point from that node, those reports, PHR or EHR will be accessed from the doctors, from the patient, from the different hospitals for the treatment of a particular patient. So this is the one application of the cloud computing, this type of the system. If we look in energy system, yes, there are some smart grids. Yes, there are a number of the components in the smart grids of the power sector. Which component is working or not working? Which component having which type of the emissions, heat emission or the vibration or the friction, and the all information may be recorded by the sensors, and this information may be put on over the cloud, and after analyzing this information, the fault, which component of the power grid may go down to the failure. So we can use this type of information. So that is another application of this. After this, we are looking AI system. Yes, AI system, you know very well. All these system works depend on the labeled data or the unlabeled data. Over here, we do the work as a classification, prediction, pattern recognition, voice recognition, speech recognition. Over here, there are some techniques for the classification, support vector machine, decision tree classification, name-based classification, patient classification, genetic algorithm, fuzzy logic system we can use for that, and logistic regression we can use for the classification. And there are some specialized rough set approach is also used for the classification. If their rules also are used for the classification. And so I have taken the name of those techniques. These techniques, with the help of these techniques, we classify the some data labels. So when we talk about the classification of or the machine learning task or the AI systems, so we built the model. So we built the model. Model means machine learning model. So there is difficult to understand. Yes, what is the machine learning model? We always discuss. Yes, this is the machine learning model. So what is the machine learning model? Machine learning model, whenever we have the one algorithm and we have the some data which is taken from the sample of any patient or any recorded data, and that algorithm trained over that data, then this algorithm makes the model, and the algorithm, particular algorithm may be trained on the different samples or the different data, a different hypothesis. So there are a number of the models. Whenever we are giving the training to a particular algorithm, so we are getting a number of the models. Yani we have trained the machine learning, we have trained the algorithm over a one sample, then we got the one model and we trained the algorithm on the different data, then we got the another model. So it means we have a number of the models, but there is the one task or the one important job, which model will work more effectively, more accurately, which model will give the perfect analysis, perfect prediction, perfect classification. So yes, so the models which are collected on the training phase, the collection of these models are referred as the candidate model. To select one, to select best one, to find out the best one. So that process, that process or that method, it is read as the model section. So in model section, we will find out the optimal model which gives the best result, accurate result or the best performance. So yes, right now we have the optimal model, and we find out the optimal model from a number of the candidate models, and these candidate models we got during the training phase, and after that we have the model, then we test it, then we validate this. So there are the number of techniques for the validation. I think all of you are with some cross validation techniques, stratified stratified cross-validation techniques, fold cross-validation techniques. There are a number of the cross-validation techniques. And if we talk in the AI system for the prediction, so in prediction we apply some mathematical approach, mathematics over here for the prediction. Linear regression plays an important role. Non-linear regression plays an important role. Linear regression, if only there is the one parameter or the one attribute by which we can predict the result. Yeah. So then this is a simple linear regression. And so suppose that in mathematically y is equal to alpha plus alpha 0 x. This is the example of single variable linear regression. If we talk about y is equal to alpha 0, y is equal to alpha plus alpha 0 x plus alpha 1 x. This is the example of multivariable linear regression. So it means over here there are the two parameters x1 and x2. Y is equal to alpha plus alpha 0 x1 plus alpha 0 plus alpha 1 x1. So they are the two parameters. They are the two features. So we are considering the two parameters or the two features of the coming data or the data which are available for the training and train the model. If we talk about y is equal to alpha 0 plus alpha 1 x square, alpha 0 alpha y is equal to alpha 0 plus alpha 1 x to the power 3 x to the power 4. This is the non-linear regression. So we can do that. We make the prediction with some mathematical approach, with the linear regression, non-linear regression, and linear regression, single variable linear regression, multivariable linear regression. Similarly, single variable non-linear regression, multivariable non-linear regression. So for the prediction, we can use these mathematical techniques. And for the pattern identification, we can use some techniques like clustering or the association rule mining. So you know about the clustering. There are some k-means clustering, DB-scan clustering, hierarchical clustering, partitions clustering. So there are the method which will be used for the clustering task for the AI systems. If we talk about the pattern identification, in the market, we generate some association rule. On the basis of some association rule, we identify which association rule are more perfect and more accurate. So this rule mining may be done with the help of there is the one important algorithm over here, that is the a priori algorithm. A priori algorithm gives the best association rule, and we find out some association between the product, and with this association we identify this is the pattern which was preferred by some customer, preferred by the users. So we apply that technique also for that purpose, for the AI system. And there is one more important algorithm, FPGA, frequent pattern growth analysis. FPGA is used for identifying the pattern, for generating some association rule, and which is very important for the business management, the business industry, for the decision making. Which rules are what is the pattern is hidden in the database. So these systems are the machine learning based system or the AI system. And so it means in this system you are looking there is one special properties in AI system. In AI system, there is, on the basis of the AI system, we are taking some decision. There is one important features over here. We are getting some decision. We take some decision with the help of the AI system. And I am taking some names of the classification techniques. Name-based classifier is also, so we can use over here for that task. If we talk about the agentic AI, agentic AI So in agentic AI, yes, these are the some specialized system, yeah, which is the AI system or the some enhanced system of the AI system, and these agentic AI system, this is not some any machine or this is not the machine, but the agentic AI is a special software or the programs which work, yeah, which interact with the environment for taking some decision. So this specialized software or this specialized program, it is referred as the agentic AI. Not a hardware machine or any machine. This is some specialized software or the program and which work in a specific environment, and that software that program learns from environment and get the inputs from the environment on the basis of an analysis and the information which is taken from the environment and take the decision on their decision on the basis of the information which is achieved from the environment. So if we talk about the agentic AI system, so I given the definition, yes, what is the agentic AI? If we talk about the agentic AI, so there are a number of the type of the agentic AI, like next slide. WhatsApp agentic AI take your work with the some environment and take the decision. And there are some suppose that I give the instruction to the agentic AI, yes, schedule the one meeting. So agentic AI will communicate from the other agentic AI, yeah, from the suppose that I am the one user and another user is also using the some agentic AI. So my the agentic AI which is working on my system interact with the agentic AI which is working on the other system of the system of the other user. So agentic AI will interact with the agentic AI of the other user and will schedule the meeting. So So I discussed with the some type of the system which I already discussed. Slide 2 थोड़ी update यहाँ पर हुई थी recording की. So this is the some technical system. If you are looking, this system is combined and all the components are tightly coupled over here. And if one system fails, then will be affected by already discussed. So in this system, addition or authentication or scalability or load balancing is very difficult. To overcome this problem, we can divide it into blocks over here. This is the one microservice, this microservice, and this microservice. Each microservice is running over on its data, over on its data, and how we allocate the microservices to there is the one important gateway. If we have the gateway, we can route the microservices to this drawback over here. We are looking over here. Yes, there is the one more job is added here in the present, in the future. So just we have one more task. So then we will add the one more microservice over here. So it means we can say that if one microservice is failure, then others are still working. If there is a requirement for adding one more microservices, then we can add the other microservices. And with the help of this architecture, we can balance the load. Load balances, fault tolerance. This the drawback of this may be overcome by this. And this is the cloud computing situation in which we are also providing the computation and the storage at the job task node, where we decompose the job at the different nodes. So this is the model of the cloud computing. Over here, and again, all the cloud service providers like Google Cloud, AWS, all are working over here. And the example of this microservice architecture, the banking system. In banking system, we look, yes, the credit details is different, debit detail is different, customer detail is different, and the manager details is different, loan details are different. All the components, all the services are working differently. One microservice do not affect to the other microservices. So this is the technical, but all the services will route with the help of the API gateway. There are some gateway, API, there are some specific gateway we use over here, like REST API or the SOAP API. We can use this type of API. Or if we talk about IoT, we use the DASH API. So there are the different types of API, and all the different API are used for the different purposes. Different purposes. So this serverless architecture is cloud computing architecture. So I discussed with yes, how the AI work. So this is a human interaction, a human person, a user. Human user gives the instruction to the AI, and that AI will interact with the environment, and take the decision and study yes which type of the decision, which type of the job is coming from the user, and which type of the task, which how this job will be executed. So there is no only human give the instruction. So there is no further more involvement to execute the job. Only AI will automatically choose the memory, computation, resource, API, data, and it will take from the environment. So this is the structure. This is the some specific software, specific program. There is no human interaction after providing the job task to the AI. If we talk about, so there are some AI type of the AI agents, like this is a simple reflex agents. This type of the agentic AI only will take the decision instantly. As per the situations, what situation may be occurred. Suppose that there is the vacuum cleaner, and there is the one vacuum cleaner. If vacuum cleaner faces some obstacle or the wall, so then it will turn in the other direction. So this is the one example of the simple reflex agent, AI agent. Only in this agentic AI will not interact, will not study from the previous environment or previous information. So this is the I have taken the one example of the simple reflex agent, AI agent, and another agent is the model based. So this is the some advanced version of the simple reflex agent, and in this type of the agent may work under some model. Yeah, so in this agentic AI study some environment. Yes, which type of the situation may be taken over here. So suppose that robotic. Suppose that if we are using the vacuum cleaner with the help of the robotic AI, so yes, we assign the job or the task to the robotic AI just to clean the job, to clean the room. So then, so this is the example of model-based reflex agent, AI agent. Yani yes, this type of agent, robotic vacuum cleaner will look, yes, this area may be cleaned already. This area not cleaned, then will go this direction. If the area cleaned already, then will not turn out. So it means this is the some announced version. If we talk over here, just another example of the simple agent, simple reflex agent, like the traffic light, the signal of the traffic light. Instantly, this type of agent will take the decision. Yes, now the time is for the red signal. Now the time is for the green signal. Now time is for the yellow signal. So the signal will be allowed. The particular signal will be allowed. If we took another is the goal-based agents, goal-based agentic AI or goal-based agents. So these agents work on some considering the future goal. So this is so suppose that what is the example? What is the example? What will maybe the example of the goal-based agent? Yes, like the Google Map, navigation system. So navigation system, yes, we started our journey and we set the target कि वहाँ पर पहुँचना है इतने टाइम में, है ना? So this is, तो यानी कि in this condition, the future, if we look in this agentic AI, the future target या future goal may be considered, or in this type of agentic AI, this agentic AI work on the some searching also, routing also. So this is the I have taken the example of the goal-based agents. And next is the utility-based agentic AI. This is the advanced version of goal-based. Suppose that we assign a particular job. Suppose that the driverless car. So we have given the task to the agentic AI. Yes, so there is no human interaction. And आपको यहाँ से चलकर वहाँ पे जाना है. So we have provided some particular task to reach from this point to this point with the help of the agentic AI. So this type of the applications, this type of the agent referred as the utility-based agentic AI. And this is the advanced or the final. This is the advanced agentic AI that is referred as the learning agents. So learning agents always learns from the environment, from the past and the coming data and the other the information which are coming and announce itself again and again. So we are looking. So these are some special types of the agentic AI, and the agentic AI may be single agent. There are some tasks where the only simple agent, one agent may work. And there are some tasks where multiple agents may work. There are some tasks one machine and one agentic AI will work. So if we talk about the multiple agents, so multiple agents, hierarchical agents, we can say that hierarchical agent. So in hierarchical agents, at one level one agent is working, and another level there are some agentic AI are working, and after its there are other more agentic AI are working. So those agents may have the same task, may execute the same task, yeah, at a different layer, maybe assign a different task to the each layer. So this is the consideration of the multiple agent, and in some agents only simple work only one agents may work, suppose that you are filling the gas bill, yeah, IGL bill. So as you type, yes, I am going to fill the bill of the IGL. So only so then you will look the one assistant that is provided by the some agency, yeah, IGL side. Yes, which type of the help, which type of the bill, which type of the information, which type of the help you need from me. So only there is the one simple agent. So these are the some study, some knowledge about the agentic AI. If we look, this is the architecture of the LLM. Do you know about the agentic AI? The agentic AI, we use the some LLM, the concept of the LLM. So this is the one architecture of the unified and waiting decoder architecture, and this is the architecture cross modality attention architecture. This is some simple difference, not complex. This is the LLM architecture. This architecture have the only one encoder, and that accept the data in the form of the image, in the form of the text, in the form of the other information. So only there is the one encoder, and that one encoder integrate the different type of the data and combining for the self-attribution and for the output. This is the unified architecture. And this is the cross-modality attention architecture. This architecture have the separate for the individual encoder for the text information, have the separate encoder for the voice, yeah, for the image, have the individual separate encoder. So this is the main difference. And you can see that only one encoder will accept the all type of information and will give the result in conclusion. And this type of the model for the text purpose have the separate encoder, for the voice have the separate encoder, and for the images for the other separate individual encoder. And after combining, after integrating, that produces the result. So this is the some basic architecture of the LLM. Over here, we are looking. If we look at the working of the LLM, there is the one drawback of LLM. Sometimes LLM gives the correct result or the some best result, but sometimes the LLM may give the vague result. Vague result means yes, LLM है नॉट द करेक्ट आंसर, फिर भी आपको आंसर कर देगा वो, मतलब कोई करेक्ट जानकारी भी नहीं है, फिर भी कुछ ना कुछ आंसर कर देगा. तो दिस टाइप ऑफ द प्रोसेस, दिस ड्रॉबैक, दिस टाइप ऑफ द मिस रिजल्ट, इट इज रेफर्ड टू द hallucination ऑफ द LLM. हम इस ड्रॉबैक को LLM के जो ड्रॉबैक है, तो उसके पास करेक्ट रिजल्ट भी नहीं है, फिर भी जो है वो कुछ ना कुछ रिजल्ट आपका प्रोड्यूस कर देगा. तो दिस ड्रॉबैक ऑफ द LLM, इट इज रेफर्ड एज द hallucination. अगर मान लिया किसी कंपनी में कोई इन्वेस्टमेंट की पॉलिसी है और किसी की कुछ एरर या जो है उसकी EMI को जानी है, मतलब उसके प्रीमियम जानी है, और किसी कस्टमर ने सिर्फ वही प्रीमियम करी और उसको बाद में उसका रिफंड की पॉलिसी क्या है. तो अगर कोई कस्टमर पूछता है कि यस देयर इज एनी प्रीवियस देयर इज एनी रिफंड पॉलिसी इन योर कंपनी, इन योर ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, तो LLM सिंपल जो है आंसर करता है यस देयर इज द रिफंड पॉलिसी ओवर हियर. बट LLM will not tell to the customer yes in these circumstances ये कंडीशन होंगी तब इतना होगा, अगर आप इतनी प्रीमियम करते तो आपको इतना पैसा मिलेगा, अगर आप इतनी प्रीमियम जमा करते तो आपको इतना पैसा मिलेगा, या आप इतना वो करते तो इतना होगा। सिर्फ वो सिंपल आंसर कर देगा, उसके पास में एग्जैक्ट कभी कभी एग्जैक्ट आंसर नहीं होता एलएलएम के पास में, तो कुछ ना कुछ आंसर कर देता हो। दैट आंसर इज नॉट द रिलेवेंट आंसर एज पर द रिक्वायरमेंट ऑफ द यूजर। So this problem may be referred as the hallucination. To overcome this hallucination problem, we use the concept of the RAG. We use the concept of the RAG. हम RAG को use करते हैं। RAG retrieval, augmentation and generation. तो RAG overcome this type of the problem, hallucination. So in what we are adding over here in hallucination in RAG, first of all, the information, relevant information will be retrieved. The relevant information will be retrieved, and after it, the query of the user will be augmented, will be combined over here, and the result will be produced. यानी कि हम ये कहना चाह रहे हैं कि पहले जो है वो उससे रिलेटेड जो क्वेरी इन्फॉर्मेशन, जो क्वेरी यूजर ने दी उससे रिलेवेंट कुछ इन्फॉर्मेशन आपकी अगर फैच करेगा, जिसको हम रिट्रीव कर रहे हैं, और उस रिलेवेंट इन्फॉर्मेशन में क्वेरी की इन्फॉर्मेशन उसमें ऐड ऑन होगी, जिसको हम ऑगमेंटेशन कर रहे हैं, एंड आफ्टर दैट द रिजल्ट विल बी प्रोवाइडेड टू द यूजर। तो जो हम प्रॉब्लम वहाँ पर देख रहे थे उसने तो सिंपल आंसर कर दिया, उसने जो रिलेवेंट कुछ देखा नहीं, या उसने जो बेस्ट कुछ देखा नहीं उसमें, तो वो चीज़ यहाँ पर वो वाली प्रॉब्लम हमारी दूर होगी जो हालुसिनेशन हम एलएलएम में देख रहे थे। इसमें जो है दैट प्रॉब्लम इज एनकाउंटर्ड। तो व्हाट इज द यूज ओवर हियर? वी कैन यूज द लीगल क्वेश्चन आंसरिंग, एचआर चैट कोर्स के लिए हम यूज करते हैं, मेडिकल स्टूडेंट्स के लिए वी कैन यूज दैट, और डेवलपमेंट के लिए यूज कर सकते हैं, स्मार्ट लर्निंग मैनेजमेंट सिस्टम के लिए यूज कर सकते हैं, कस्टमर सपोर्ट के लिए यूज कर सकते हैं। तो दिस इज द वन application of the RAG. So how the RAG work? First of all, documents, and that documents will be chunking into the some small portions and embedding, and after that the vector database will be prepared. Vector database means the database which is very effective for the searching, indexing and the storage. यानी कि उससे जो है आसानी से हम उस डाटाबेस से क्या कर सकते हैं, हम सर्चिंग कर सकते हैं या स्टोरेज कर सकते हैं या इंफॉर्मेशन हम रिट्रीव कर सकते हैं। तो दिस लाइक दिस द RAG विल वर्क। तो दिस इज द सम यूजर क्वेरी, यानी कि जो मैंने बताया था उसमें, यानी कि यूजर विल बी एम्बेडेड। तो दैट इज द ऑगमेंटेशन। सर्चिंग होगी, यहाँ पर सर्चिंग होने के बाद में यहाँ पर जो ऑगमेंट, उसके बाद में जो आपका रिजल्ट यहाँ पर आपका जनरेट हो जाएगा। तो लाइक दिस द RAG विल वर्क। तो यू आर लुकिंग ओवर हियर। तो जो हमने पहले स्टार्टिंग में बात करती थी, वी टॉक द स्टार्टिंग द एक्यूरेसी ऑफ एनी इंडस्ट्री और द सिस्टम विल इज अफेक्टेड बाय द मिसकम्युनिकेशन। तो ओवर हियर द कम्युनिकेशन गैप या द इंटरेक्शन is improving as the systems, as the emerging technologies are adding on. The communication is increasing. Yeah, communication is improving. So when the communication is improving, यानी कि we are getting the proper information from the user. So the system is behaving more accurate, more performance. यानी कि giving the best result, best accuracy. So for that some latest technology या emerging technologies like LLM की हमने बात करी, RAG की हमने बात करी, तो ये जो है इस तरह से हम आगे कर सकते हैं। If we consider what is the architecture of the RAG, indexing documents, chunking small chunks में information हमारे पास में आई, इसको different small components में इसको breakdown कर लिया, and after that हमने इसको यहाँ पर एक database में इसको पुट ऑन कर दिया। बट उसके साथ साथ में यूजर की क्वेरी को हमने इसमें यहाँ पर इसमें ये ऐड ऑन करा। ऐड ऑन करने के बाद में फिर ये रिजल्ट यहाँ पर आपका LLM के थ्रू यहाँ पर मिलाएंगे, ये ऐसे तरीके से यूजर करेंगे। तो ये पूरा जो है RAG का आर्किटेक्चर है। तो यहाँ पर ऑगमेंटेशन कहाँ पर हो रहा है? इतना अगर इफ वी आर लुकिंग दिस this block, this is the retrieval. This block is the retrieval, and this block is the augmentation, and this is the generation. This block is the retrieval, and this block is the augmentation of the query, and this is the final answer. This is the final answer. That is the response. This is the generation. So like this, RAG works on. So you are looking over here. There is one new term, that is the vector database. So vector database is nothing. Database है जो हम उसको इस तरीके से अच्छे तरीके से उसको हम स्टोर कर सकते हैं जिससे हमारी इंडेक्सिंग और सर्चिंग और रिट्रीवल जो है आसान तरीके से होता है. उसमें टाइम न लगना चाहिए उसको, है ना. उसी को हम वेक्टर डाटाबेस कहते हैं. और डाटा वो ऐसा हम क्यों कर रहे हैं, क्योंकि जो हमारे पास में डाटाबेस आ रहा है या इंफॉर्मेशन आ रही है वो बहुत तरह की फॉर्म हो सकती है. कैसे हो सकती है? आपकी ऑडियो के फॉर्म में हो सकती है, इमेज के फॉर्म में हो सकती है, टेक्स्ट के फॉर्म में हो सकती है, या कोई आपके कोई जीआईएस इंफॉर्मेशन हो सकती है, या और मेडिकल इमेजेस भी हो सकती हैं. तो हम उसको अब एक बात इसमें बात देना चाहिए क्या हम इसका चंक्स कैसे कर रहे हैं, चंकिंग क्यों कर रहे हैं इसकी, यानी कि वी आर डूइंग द चंकिंग ऑफ दैट इंफॉर्मेशन. क्योंकि पूरी इमेज जो प्रोसेस नहीं होती, इमेज को प्रोसेस करने के लिए, रिट्रीव करने के लिए हमें उसको सेगमेंट करना पड़ता है, उसको डिवाइड करना पड़ता है, उसको फ्रेगमेंट करना पड़ता है. तो इसी तरीके से अगर पूरी टेक्स्ट की इमेज है, टेक्स्ट इंफॉर्मेशन है, तो पूरा टेक्स्ट एनालिसिस नहीं होगा, सेगमेंट में करना पड़ेगा, फोल्ड आउट. इमेज है तो इमेज की चंकिंग करनी पड़ेगी. ऑडियो है, ऑडियो को भी सेगमेंटेशन करना पड़ेगा, ब्रेक डाउन करना पड़ेगा. तो दिस प्रोसेस इट इज रेफर्ड एज द चंकिंग. एंड आफ्टर इट्स यहाँ पर हम पूरा ये डाटाबेस पूरा बना लेते हैं, जिसको हम वेक्टर डाटाबेस कहते हैं इसको. तो यहाँ पर जो है पूरा ये इस तरह से ये रिट्रीवल हो गया, ऑगमेंटेशन, रिलेवेंट क्वेरी जो यूजर की आई आंसर वो हमने इसमें ऑगमेंट कर दी, और रेस्पॉन्स ये जनरेशन हो गई. तो दैट इज द वर्किंग ऑफ RAG. So I think all the students got the some working how the RAG works on. These are the some relevant from the LLM जो उसकी कमियां थी वो आपको बताया. तो अब हम देख रहे हैं कि इन प्रोजेक्ट सिनेरियो तो हमारे पास में किस तरह के एजेंटिक AI होने चाहिए, ऑटोमेशन होने चाहिए. हम किस तरह की डिमांड कर रहे हैं, हम इस तरह की डिमांड कर रहे हैं कि अभी तक तो हम ह्यूमन बीइंग या यूजर को कर रहा है, मतलब कुछ ना कुछ उसको जॉब असाइन कर रहा है. बट हम किस तरह की बात कर रहे हैं आगे आने वाले टाइम में कि एजेंटिक AI हमारी नीड को ऑटोमेटिक समझ कर, या हमारे उसको जो है कि ये इसकी रिक्वायरमेंट है, ये यूजर की रिक्वायरमेंट है, उसके हिसाब से और ज़्यादा ह्यूमन का इंटरेक्शन नहीं होना चाहिए उसमें. तो वो इस आगे की जो बात चल रही है वो इस तरह की बात चल रही है. यस, कि ऑटोमेशन होनी चाहिए, देयर इज नो मोर इंटरेक्शन ऑफ द ह्यूमन बीइंग्स एंड डिसीजन मेकिंग कर सकें, और एक्शन ओरिएंटेड होनी चाहिए. जैसी सिचुएशन आए उसके हिसाब से एक्शन परफॉर्म हो जाना चाहिए. तो नाउ वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट द सम फीचर्ड एजेंटिक AI ऑटोनोमस की हम बात कर रहे हैं. इस तरह के यूजर का ज़्यादा इंटरवेंशन नहीं होना चाहिए. तो अभी जो बात करी थी, यस एजेंटिक AI अंडरस्टैंड प्रॉब्लम, जो ह्यूमन की प्रॉब्लम्स को अंडरस्टैंड, उसके आफ्टर दैट इट विल प्लान उस प्रॉब्लम को हाउ वी कैन सॉल्व, कैसे सॉल्व कर सकते हैं. सेलेक्ट टूल, टेक्निक, मेथड एंड एग्जीक्यूट टेक्निक्स पता चल गए, एंड दैट टेक्निक्स मे बी एग्जीक्यूटेड ओवर हियर. एंड उसको कहीं अगर हम अगेन उस इंफॉर्मेशन को कहीं मेमोरी पर रखना है, जो इंफॉर्मेशन यहाँ पर हुई, तो वी कैन यूज द स्टोर मेमोरी एंड वैलिडेट क्या वो आंसर सही था एंड द रेस्पॉन्स. तो दिस इज द वर्किंग ऑफ RAG या एजेंटिक AI इन अ सिंपल फॉर्म. ये थोड़ा सा और सिंपल फॉर्म में एजेंटिक AI की वर्किंग है. Sometimes to execute the one task with the help of the agentic AI require the a number of the agentic AI. यानी कि किसी काम को करने के लिए कुछ हमें अलग-अलग एजेंटिक AI की जरूरत पड़ती है, जैसे राइट एजेंट, वैलिडेट एजेंट, कोडिंग एजेंट एंड रिसर्च एजेंट. All these agents are working. The job assigned to this agentic AI is different. The work assigned to this agentic AI is different, and this, and after this there is the one master agentic AI जिसको हम ऑर्केस्ट्रा कह रहे हैं. So this artificial agentic AI will look after, it will coordinate, it will control, coordinate, monitor to the all agentic AI and collect the information from over here and will provide the combined result to the user. कुछ एप्लीकेशन हमारे इस तरह के होते हैं जहाँ पर अलग अलग डिफरेंट जो मैंने एक एग्जाम्पल दिया था देयर आर द सम टास्क वेयर ए नंबर ऑफ द मल्टीपल देयर आर ए नंबर ऑफ द एजेंट एआई आर रिक्वायर्ड, वो इसी का एग्जाम्पल है। यानी कि हम उसमें जो है कई सारे एजेंटिक एआई की जरूरत पड़ती है, किसी को कुछ काम दिया, किसी को कुछ काम दिया, किसी को कुछ काम दिया, और एक तो कंट्रोल करने के लिए मॉनिटर करने के लिए इज द वन मास्टर एजेंटिक एआई जिसको हम ऑर्केस्ट्रेटर कह रहे हैं, तो ये इसको कोऑर्डिनेट कर रहा है। तो दिस इज आल्सो द एप्लीकेशन। तो दिस टाइप ऑफ द एजेंटिक एआई, दिस टाइप ऑफ द एजेंटिक एआई referred as the hierarchical agentic AI, hierarchical agentic AI. इट मे बी पॉसिबल इसके नीचे भी कोई और लेयर हो सकती है या इसके नीचे भी कोई और लेयर हो सकती है। तो दिस टाइप ऑफ द agentic model, it is referred as the hierarchical agentic AI. And how the intelligence system, तो हम अब जो बात कर रहे हैं कि यस क्या ये जो सिस्टम है सारे सारे वो किस तरह के सिस्टम है आपके इंटेलिजेंट सिस्टम है सर। तो इसमें जो है फर्स्ट यूजर इंटरफेस की बात होगी, यानी कि फर्स्ट लेयर दिस इज द यूजर इंटरफेस एंड एपीआई गेटवे की हम बात कर रहे हैं। एंड हम इंजन की बात कर रहे हैं, कौन कौन से इंजन यूज हो रहे हैं यहाँ पर, कौन कौन सा डाटा बेस यूज हो रहा है यहाँ पर, और किस तरह से जो है हम इसको यहाँ पर कौन से क्लाउड सर्विस प्रोवाइडर हैं या इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर की बात हुई है हमारे पास में। ये एक पूरा इंटेलिजेंस सिस्टम का मॉडर्न इंटेलिजेंस सिस्टम का जो हम आगे की बात कर रहे हैं ऐसा होना चाहिए हमारे पास, ऑटोनोमस होना चाहिए। तो किस तरह से, तो हम इस तरह की हम बात को सोच रहे हैं कि इस तरह से हमारी प्लानिंग होनी चाहिए, इस तरह के हमारे इंटेलिजेंस सिस्टम बनने चाहिए इन फ्यूचर। ये हम तो दिस इज अ लेयर्ड मतलब सिस्टम, layered intelligence system. So this is the perfect architecture of the intelligent system. And if तो इसमें there are some problems जो हम अभी डिस्कस कर दी, LLM की हमने बात डिस्कस कर दी, hallucination हम इस तरह से सोल्व कर सकते हैं, हाई इंटेंस कॉस्ट या टोटल फेलियर, एक्सटेंडेबिलिटी की हम बात कर रहे हैं, सिक्योरिटी एंड प्राइवेसी की हम बात कर रहे हैं। तो ये जो है तो थोड़े से हमारे चैलेंजिंग इशूज हैं, इनको भी हमें डिजाइन करना पड़ेगा या इनको भी हमें थिंक करना पड़ेगा, तो तब हम सिस्टम जो है इफेक्टिव बना सकते हैं। तो वी कैन एम्प्लीफाई ह्यूमन कैपेबिलिटी, यानी कि अगर हमें इस तरह के एजेंटिक सिस्टम हमने बना लिए तो देन स्मार्ट लर्निंग मैनेजमेंट सिस्टम विल बी इजी, कोडिंग असिस्टेंट will be easy, and HR and recruitment में हम यूज कर सकते हैं, रिसर्च एजेंट्स की तरह यूज कर सकते हैं, and we can develop, we can use for the deployment या कोई डेवलपमेंट उसके लिए हम यूज कर सकते हैं, and enterprises या किसी उसके लिए हम क्वेश्चन आंसरिंग के लिए यूज कर सकते हैं। तो these are some applications or how we can enhance the human capability. So this is the फ्यूचर कमांडेड जो हम सोच रहे हैं आगे किस तरह के सिस्टम होने चाहिए, ऑटोनोमस एजेंटिक इकोसिस्टम या ह्यूमन एआई कोलैबोरेशन या डिसेंट्रलाइज्ड इंटेलिजेंस सिस्टम। थैंक यू। दिस इज द सम ब्रीफ agentic AI and AI systems, and we are looking in the future how we can design some more advanced intelligence system which assist for making the job of the human in research, in industry, in business, in market, in medical field, in any field. So in future, what we are expecting from the engineers, from the industry, software industry. So this is the some brief discussion about the AI and machine learning system. Thank you. Thank you for listening. This is to me. Thank you. Any question, please? Take any question.
Yes. Sir, I have one question. The LLM validation. Sir,
where and why addition appear in the system? Can you explain or tell me?
Okay, I think you have listened carefully. I have given the one example. Please go on. I have given the one example. Suppose there is the one insurance company, suppose that LIC, Life Insurance Corporation, and you look at that policy may be mature after 10 premium or 20 premium, and any customer or user deposit only 2 or 3 premium and discontinue for future premium. So at that time the user will ask, yes, is any refund policy? जो उसने पैसा पहले से जमा करा है, क्या उसकी refund policy है? तो LLM जो है सीधे ये आंसर कर दिया, yes, there is a refund policy. पर इतना तो है, उसने आंसर कर दिया, पर उसके पास में एग्जैक्ट जानकारी नहीं थी कि अगर आपने 1 प्रीमियम जमा करा तो आपको इतना रिफंड होगा, 2 प्रीमियम आपने जमा करे तो इतना रिफंड होगा, या 3 प्रीमियम जमा करे तो आपको इतना रिफंड होगा, तो आपको उसमें इंटरेस्ट मिलेगा या नहीं मिलेगा, या आपका ना भी कोई उसका कोई मतलब कितना किस उस पर है, वो इस तरह का आंसर नहीं देता। तो ऐसे हमें बहुत सारी जगह हमें ऐसे एग्जाम्पल हैं इसके LLM के कई जगह हमें देखने मिलते हैं। तो दिस टाइप ऑफ प्रॉब्लम इट इज रेफर्ड द हालुसिनेशन। क्लियर? मतलब उसके पास में एग्जैक्ट आंसर भी नहीं है, फिर भी जो है उसको यूजर के लिए कुछ ना कुछ परोस ले रहा है ना, जो उसके लिए रिलेवेंट भी नहीं हो सकता, जब उसको फर्दर करेंगे और इंक्वायरी करनी पड़ेगी। तो दिस टाइप ऑफ प्रॉब्लम इट इज रेफर्ड द हालुसिनेशन। तो इस चीज को ओवरकम करने के लिए नया कॉन्सेप्ट RAG आया है। RAG ने क्या करा कि उसके रिलेवेंट उसने क्वेश्चन पूछा क्या कि कोई रिफंड पॉलिसी है, अगर इतनी वो जमा हो गई है तो उससे वो रिलेवेंट इन्फॉर्मेशन करीब 10-15 रिकॉर्ड या कुछ रिलेवेंट रिकॉर्ड रखेगा, उसमें फिर यूजर की जो क्वेरी आई उसको मैं उसके साथ में कंबाइन करेगा, जिसको ऑर्गेनाइज करेगा, देन आफ्टर इट विल गिव द रिजल्ट। तो दिस इज द वर्किंग ऑफ RAG। तो RAG ओवरकम द प्रॉब्लम ऑफ LLM हालुसिनेशन। क्लियर? तो ऐसे बहुत सारे हम भी देखते हैं कि LLM कुछ ना कुछ आंसर कर देता है जो रिलेवेंट भी नहीं है। क्लियर? थैंक यू for listening and thank you for the organizers. I have given the chance of the opportunity to discuss some concepts related to the what is the innovation, what is the and how we can combine or collaborate or integrate all the terms for the innovation with using the concept of the emerging trends latest technology. So in projects now you are looking, we are using AI, cloud computing, IoT, big data, as Honorable Madam also discussed, big data, cloud computing, quantum computing. So by using this technology, we can merge and we can combine to make the system more accurate, more performance, more efficient. अगर एक मैंने बात कही थी कि अगर सिस्टम में लेयर में जो है कम्युनिकेशन नहीं है, जैसा यहाँ पर एक लेयर एक फ्रंट रोड ये है, सेकंड रोड एक पूरा किसी कंपनी के एम्प्लॉई है, आपस में कम्युनिकेशन नहीं है, डिसकम्युनिकेशन है ना, तो कुछ रिडंडेंट प्रोडक्ट भी बन सकते हैं या एफिशिएंसी भी ज़्यादा नहीं सकती, या जो गोल दिया हुआ कंपनी को इतने प्रोडक्ट बनाने हैं इतने महीने में या इतने टाइम में, वो भी क्योंकि आपस में कम्युनिकेशन नहीं है। तो उस सबको कम्युनिकेशन को ओवरकम करने के लिए ये डिफरेंट लेटेस्ट टेक्नोलॉजीज हैं, हम इन्हीं के थ्रू हम अनाउंस कर सकते हैं, कम्युनिकेशन हम थोड़ा सा बिल्ड कर सकते हैं। तो दैट इज ओवर हियर द लेटेस्ट टेक्नोलॉजी आर प्लेइंग इंपॉर्टेंट रोल फॉर दैट। थैंक यू
Thank you so much, sir, for such an enriching session. It is now time to express our profound appreciation and heartfelt thanks to our esteemed guests for gracing the occasion with their distinguished presence. I now invite Dr. Shubha Kulshresh ma'am to kindly felicitate Dr. Preeti Gulia with the token of our sincere appreciation. Thank you, ma'am. I now request Professor Dr. Nanhay to please come and felicitate Professor Dr. Nanhay sir with the token of gratitude. We remain deeply indebted to our distinguished esteemed guests for their gracious presence, invaluable guidance, and inspiring contribution to this conference. Let's once again acknowledge them with a warm and respectful round of applause. Sir, ma'am, we would like you to please proceed for that. We will be continuing with our online session.
Video call.
Thank you very much, everyone. A warm good morning. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for having me here. I can get some. Okay. There's still some echo. I think somebody has to mute them. Good morning, everyone. so sorry, there's some echo. Can you use the IITM for that?
Ma'am, your voice is clearly audible. There is some echo from there.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Can you mute everyone else so that I don't hear the echo, if that's okay?
Could you please repeat?
Can you please mute everyone else? IITM college and maybe this week. Yeah, I think that's good. IITM college system. Yes. Thank you very much. That's great. Good morning, everyone. I'm Dr. Archana Shankar. I worked for quite a while with IITM generally, and I'm very proud of IITM. I think I've learned a lot, and I think it really helps in the first place. So I'm Archana Shankar. I did my PhD from FinTech Delhi. I had my MBA in engineering from Nanhay University in Chennai. Congratulations to everyone who's been presenting today, and also to the organizers. And I'm sure it's a great learning platform for students at the start of life. So that's just about me. So today I'm going to be talking about diversity and inclusion initiatives. That we do generally within our workplaces, and I'm going to bring a couple of ideas from the UK University. What happens here, how do we do it, so that you may have some more understanding. So just a couple of visual objectives here. I'm going to be talking about diversity, equity, and inclusion in a global higher education context. Some examples from the UK universities, and also in terms of what legal stance that we follow, and reflect how these practices can be adapted in India. I'm sure there's a lot of scope. And a couple of actionable items moving in your own institutions or government. Diversity, as we all know, is one, and it includes people coming from different race, ethnicity, gender identities, sexual orientation, age, disabilities which are known, seen, not seen, socio-economic background, religion, belief systems, cultural background, education, experience. So I'm sure when you look around, you will see a lot of diversity in your own, grouping, within your own campus. But the important part is how do we deal with this diversity? If everyone coming from a different diverse background, they're really happy, working, in this workplace, and how do we make that even better in today's time? The different kinds of diversity. One is something we are grown up with, that is early inherent diversity, like the gender, age, race, disability, something that we are born with. But we also acquire a lot of diversity over a period of time, learning from platforms like these, schools and colleges, our workplaces, which improves, the way we are, okay, and I'm sure if you look back 5 years back or 10 years ago, today you are quite a changed person, and you will not be the same in next 5 years or 10 years. So diversity is there, but why do we need that diversity? So that's a very key question. It enhances our learning and growth because we are learning from each other. It promotes innovation, creativity, the thought process. We keep asking, and we should ask why, what we are doing, and does it have an impact on somebody else? It improves the decision making and reflects, the society, some economic social progress, and obviously we build a stronger community, in the place that we work. The question of inclusion, just the diversity is not enough, but then everyone feels, the need to be included in the workplace, and wherever we are. You want others to feel welcome, respected, supported, valued. You must treat, it's very normal saying that treat others like the way you want to be treated yourself. And include others because you also want to be included. I think, platforms like these, conferences like these, activities, where you involve everyone is an act of inclusion, which is great. And I'm sure when I was in IITM, I have seen that, I was included just a lot of other people, whether it was sports or whether it was, music or cultural or whatever it was. But I think we had the platform of, coming together and everyone has some responsibility, whether it was students or staff. So I think that's great. That's one of the acts of inclusion. You can also think of what else you can do, to make everyone included. That's something that's very important. Because it's not just, normal people who are able to do their work, but there are people who cannot do their work. And we will have a look into that. So, what inclusion tactics do you use for your students is a very important question. As I said, there are some students, I'm sure, events like this, there are lots of students who are really energetic, they come forward, they help, the staff, and, the vice versa. But what happens to students who don't participate? Of course, I'm sure you know there are lots of students who don't participate, not willing to participate, or willing but cannot participate because of some disability. Say they are not able to talk, or they just can't think beyond, the capacity. So, what do you think of those students, or maybe even staff who maybe can do something, cannot do something else? How do we support them? Okay, so those are the inclusion tactics that you must think about, to get everyone together. So why do we need it? Is because everyone feels the need of, the sense of belongingness. Okay, unless and until people participate, they don't feel that there's a sense of belongingness. With students, of course, they feel safe and secure. They feel, you would see students definitely, they say that those 3 years were the best part of my life. And I'm sure that, most of you have that feeling as well. And I had to feeling when I was young, so I think it was great. It promotes equity and opportunities where everyone is given the same opportunity to participate. Students prepare for real world. Okay, the world isn't great outside. It's very, very competitive. And events like this, when you participate, you understand that, okay, so here, this is how you talk, this is how you, maybe it's a very simple thing today that I had a bit of a glitch, to start with. So you know what exactly you need to do, in the blended platform. So you learn, okay, which is great. It strengthens your institutional reputation, that it makes you a very inclusive workplace. So you're thinking of not just people who naturally join and participate, but also about people who do not participate. Okay, so what happens to that 20% who are not able to participate? So what do we do about them? So definitely more innovation, research, excellence, where everyone does something. So this definitely, as say a class rep or a health department, or you can think of just everyone, something for everyone basically. Diversity without inclusion, I'd say, doesn't lead to anything. So we just can't keep talking about diversity that okay, we are a diverse race, we welcome everyone. But then when people are in there, how do you really treat them is a question. So you definitely need to create a more stronger resident community and work that as an organization. Delhi NCR is got a lot of scope. It's a very extremely cosmopolitan place. If you compare that with any of, I think that gives you a very wide, view of how we should work around diversity and inclusion. It is quite challenging, as we say that it's not very easy, but then there's a lot of scope for improvement there. Addressing some diversity and equity and equality. Equality, I'm sure you all know that everyone is given the same set of resources. When you're giving an exam, everyone knows that okay, there's a timeline, and we need to submit. But with equity, sometimes some students or staff need additional help to complete their tasks. Okay, but in doing so, you do not give any judgment. You're not biased later that okay, they are weak or there's no equality clearly. And that's the way we very silently work on equality and equity. Okay, so that's something which is very important. Here in the West, it's very illegal, I say, and not taken pleasantly if somebody is providing that equity, which is some additional support, but then later there is some bias, maybe in promotions or I'd say any other form of recruitment or inclusion tactics, which may not go very well with them, and it may be reported with the HR. So we need to be very conscious about what we are doing and how we are doing. Just saying isn't enough. We need to do it as well. So definitely, I just told you what equality, equity, and funny. It's quite funny, but then in reality, everyone just is not able to do anything. So that's something that the head of the institution must take up very seriously. We also need to avoid any unconscious bias, as I just said, because you will have an equity in place, but then as a result of your own actions, are your actions kind of impeded by any unconscious bias. Okay, so you need to recognize your own bias every day. See if you have done something, if it was right or it's not right. Do you really think about it? Okay, do your self-reflection. Okay, and very important is to explore the weak versus them. Even in the classrooms, I know there are different groups, and there are different groups where they say, okay, if this is us, and it is them. Can the staff ensure that the students are more united? Say if you're doing a group activity, can place them in random groups so they are forced to work together in the listening. Of course, once they work together, then maybe in the next couple of weeks you will see a more unified classroom. To have all of this, very important that you also have cultural intelligence. I say because again, when you are located, has got a lot of food, lots of quite cosmopolitan culture. Lots of people from different communities and religions, they are there. So I think cultural intelligence is something that we need to be very aware of. I'd like you to think about the last act of equity, equality in your classroom. I'm not sure how many people can take or from here, but I would just want you to think about what you did to ensure equity or equality in your classroom or wider university campus. So I will leave you with those thoughts there and move forward. So one GI really matters in a global education is because it reflects a globalized world. There are people, especially we talk about it's a very, very global space. You have students coming from different communities, different countries, which I'm sure you are aware of the newspaper. It's a bit difficult to control at the moment, but then, once everyone is here now, I think it's a responsibility towards DEI and how do we maintain that fairness in education, the way we treat the students, and it will be in different areas, it could be sometimes unknown and unknown disabilities or even cases of, say, pregnant students where they need some more support, to complete the education. So you can see here, it does build some inclusive institutions, advances of social justice and peace. There are a couple of examples of diversity and inclusion in the UK. The University of Oxford has an EI strategic plan. I'm sure lots of other universities have their own plans. Where they have this everyone belongs and any act of conscious bias, conscious or unconscious, taken very seriously. That's something which is very important. So people are quite aware of what they should be talking, what they should not be talking. Again, here is a very important thing that there are designated teams for doing this. Okay, so one, of course, is to come down at individual level. So, say for example, if I'm in the classroom, I will ensure that the groups that are being formed for any activity are as diverse as possible. So just ensure maybe one student from every country is there in one of the groups. That's the diversity, and also when we pick the class reps, we ensure that they are different. They are different from different countries, basically. So that's and inclusion is basically when say I'm going to be talking in the classroom. I ensure I speak to each and every person in the classroom. The class sizes are generally 30 or 60 in our campus, but then it could be more in other campuses. But the idea is that you talk to everyone, to make and ensure that you are included everyone. It's not that I come from Asia, so I speak just to Asian students. Now that's again, will be my unconscious bias. So just to be more, inclusive, ensure that I am quite, I follow my equality. I will ensure I'm talking to all groups and I make that good. So that's something which is very important. So University of Cambridge again, acknowledges, a couple of initiatives. We put something on government UK website on equality and diversity. I'm sure that our government also would have something like that. But the important is how much are we following at the individual level, at maybe a group level or an organizational level. And what do we do about it? Do we have case examples of where we have helped someone? What is our daily routine or daily cultural build-up, towards diversity and inclusion? That's important. If we talk about the UK, here we've got a couple of groups, and we have the advanced HE. So if you see on my profile, I've got I'm a fellow of advanced HE and then our senior fellow. So advanced HE is basically a very, the British charity and professional membership, and it promotes, excellence in higher education. It also ensures that all linked institutions are, they adhere to some principles of equity and diversity. And I think, some very important cases can come up, say, students with disability, to ensure that, you've got enough, say, you've got the lifts and ramps for the disabled people, and if at all something is not working, you make that known to those students, or to the campus wide. You should be able to display that information somewhere so that they are aware of it. In terms of religion and belief, I think again it is a protective characteristic. So somewhere we ensure that there is a professional boundary to which we will discuss in classroom. So if you think that when you are teaching and there's a classroom discussion and the discussion goes a bit here and there, so you need to bring that back to the track that this is not something that we can discuss beyond a certain point. So that's something where you are respecting different religious beliefs, and you don't want students from different groups to get in conflict. That's something which is a responsibility of the staff. Again, there may be increasing number of student suicides, but then not something that that the staff directly would engage into, but you can identify if there's anything which looks a bit tricky, and report to the right team, say, or ask for help or something like that, and they will take it up. Pregnant students, of course, I've told you, again, they need to be quite included. And sometimes they come in my program, and I need to do the risk assessment. Sometimes they're really worried that we will stop, their course from progressing. So you definitely need to give that reassurance that this is okay, they're all adults, and they need us support. A couple of other examples from the UK universities. We mentor, which is UCL, it's an initiative about the Black, Asian, ethnic, and minority groups. We also have Advanced I just talked about, which follows the Ethina Swan Charter, which was developed in 2005 for gender equality. Newcastle University again has a couple of these. There's Universities UK, which is a group where all universities are part of University UK. So again, they tackle a lot of things like racial harassment or outcomes. So the challenges that we face are, of course, there are lots of challenges that UK universities face. Though we have these things in place, and I'd say that they are quite well taken, and they do ensure that all of these efforts are registered somewhere. But it still can become a tick box exercise, and it may lack some depth or long-term strategy. But then, yes, we are supported by the UKVI, so there is still some balance here. Data collection and use is something which is very critical, that if you want to analyze the data, then there are GDPR rules are now under Brexit. It is the DCA, the Data Protection Act. And we can't hold the data for a very long time, and hence it is very difficult to track progress or identify gaps. And again, embedding inclusive practices is just everything that we do. Yes, we keep talking about it. There are lots of conferences, events, and trainings. But yes, it is quite difficult to have a DEI across all aspects of university life, from admissions or curriculum to staff development or student support. But yes, there is a need which is there, and people need to be absolutely supportive in what they do, and then there are policies which help you, do what you should be doing. And again, lack of representation in leadership, diverse leadership is quite critical. We also noted that no UK university had reached an advanced stage of DEI in 2024. And again, there are lots of resistance, for different DEI efforts. We have the Equality Act of 2010, which is the legal stance you can see on top of the UK website. And all of these 9 protected characteristics are, they are being very, very carefully, considered while we are even talking. So, say, for example, I have, in my program, we recently did a 68-year-old staff as a lecturer. But then during the recruitment process, we cannot wait that freely just because he's too old, maybe in the retirement age. But if that's okay, people apply, and anything within the age bracket that a workable age possibly, we need to consider that freely if somebody has applied for a particular role. Again, we do not say give less work or more work just because people are young or they are in the older age bracket, because that again will be a bias. Okay, so and again in pregnancy, anything with this job is all good. Unless and until it is a risk assessed thing which says that okay, they cannot work for long hours or something like that. That is absolutely okay. But not giving them promotions when they deserve, or that would be a bias, or not giving them an employment when if you understand that they are pregnant, is absolutely a bias. There could be a case among you. And then there is the public sector equity, equality, duty, which is part of the Equality Act of 2010 as well. And I think there are a couple of other dimensions, like the dimension of child's rights and person with disabilities. Institutions are a part of all of this, and then they are all advised, guided, and they know exactly which guides the university forward. There are a couple of opportunities and loads available for the Indian universities where you can develop a national DEI charter for higher education, very similar to the UK's Race and Equality Charter or Archana one. And based on inclusive campuses with accessible infrastructure, which is very important. Imagine somebody who wants to take an admission as if they are coming around at the campus and they want to see that it's not accessible, it doesn't have an accessible infrastructure. They may not want to join the campus. What exactly we do, I think the times are changing. Our students are also quite, mature, and the world is quite aware. I say move with the time. Promote student and staff diversity, targeted scholarships, outreach, inclusive hiring practices. And again, when you see that when you are hiring, then if you think that there is somebody from one particular cultural group, why don't you hire somebody from another cultural group as well, just to ensure that there's more diversity. And this can be regularly done, it can be more consciously done as well, which will give you more diversity and a better grouping in the workplace. And foster a culture of belongingness to different council cultural events, which is great, and I can see that happening as well. The question is, are you doing enough? Review all your institutional documents, DEI policy. Is there a training and development, disability inclusion training? What do you do when somebody comes up with a known disability? And what do you also do when somebody comes with an unknown disability? Okay, some students, say for example, they stuck, okay, or when they come in the front, they are not able to talk. And I've seen when I was young, a couple of students were making fun. But then, how do we handle these issues? Students and children and children. But how do we train them that this is wrong? Because that impacts other students who want to talk, but they are not able to talk. I'm sure each one of us, before we started the public speaking journey, we also had, couple of challenges before we came forward and, really started speaking for us. So how do we analyze all this and how do we ensure that the classroom really grows? Analyze all institutional practices, say your recruitment, hiring, retention, promotion. Do you think that somebody is repeatedly rejected and for what reason? Did you check that reason? Did you ensure that they are assisted to get there? So there's where your expertise is really coming in. Are you providing some additional help to ensure that their skills grow in time? And they are suitable for promotion at some point in time. Your data collection, reporting, your external validations may be very important. You can have a couple of validation exercises, and you can see how it's not just about documentation, but then it should feed into our own culture. That's something very important. So I think preparing your staff and students for DEI initiatives, embed DEI in educational institutions, use the existing data to drive some change, inclusive curriculum, pedagogy, mentorship, support networks. I think the students' mentor support, I think that's something that is very important. Say one student can mentor 5 others. Transparent, inclusive recruitment, very important, which I'm sure that is something that I've seen as well as on panels. Scholarships and financial support, communicate your DEI commitment, put that out somewhere in your, on your boards, notice boards, and let them know that, okay, this is how we do it, and this is what is expected from staff. Address structural barriers, collaborate across institutions, and foster, a culture of belongingness. So, thank you very much. If you have any questions, I think I'm very happy to take them up. On a very personal reflection, I would want you to see one action that you will take most DI in your context. If you have any other questions, then we have to take them. Thank you very much.
Can you have any questions? Please come to the LD soon and then ask your question. If not, then thank you so much, ma'am, for your valuable insights on DEI, and we appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Okay. Before I run the rest.
Next we have with Physical exposure offers unique insights into the practical applications of emerging technology and management strategies in today's dynamic global market. Please join me in warmly welcoming Mr. Abhishek Sharma, for a stream of ideas. So you can share your screen and we can start with the presentation.
Can you hear me well, okay? Yes, sir. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Abhishek Sharma. I'm learning in fitness career. I'm very thankful and honored to be a part of this movement. I'm a technology consultant like DAY-2 and public author. Who has spent across 20 years of technology strategy and tools like a video management. I can promise you for the next 30 minutes, you will be left with an improved way of thinking about technology, about your own career, and what's coming next for you in the real world. I think that's the most important. So when we talk about, let me give you guys a little bit of what I have been through as a journey. I was sitting in those chairs before, not long ago, maybe 2 years back. But I can assure you that I was sitting in those lines just like you guys, one-on-one, getting through these things, and slowly thinking about, am I asking a good question? Or maybe I'm having two goals and we can talk about it. But I can assure you, and I want to be right in the heart. And if it was you, exactly I was sitting there. So just feel free if you have any questions, just feel free to actually ask me anytime in the beginning of the presentation as well, or at the end with the time on it. But I just want to make sure if you are a student in the room right now, I was there sitting with you, just like you guys in that college, and now I'm presenting. So I had a very started about I started my whole engineering domain with NSCT. I believe one of the speakers was from NSCT. It was my graduation in 2006, began electronics and engineering. And where I was, got a chance and got placed in the electronics area, which was basically an IIT management. I joined as a design engineer there. My development year, design surveys, research, and eventually he was getting my name and I was granted in back in 2013, where I was the sole inventor. But most importantly, I was able to actually get that seed which I got from the society, go on into the whole idea where understanding technology is all about fundamental capabilities. Every single decision we make in the technology has a broader consequence at stake. Then came the MBA education, just ranked number 1 in Australia at UNW. That's where I started thinking more like an business leader than more of an engineer, and I was able to connect on how businesses think from an idea to take it to the market. It changed everything for me. So I wrote a whole new career, exciting chapter for my life, and I'm very thankful for that. So it started with my life in Australia, built upon the engineering degree I got from NSCT, the foundation that I had back in India, and still started with it. From there, I put everything I learned in the classroom into action and see how I was able to put my learning into some sort of outcome that was really important and were able to actually see the company move forward. And more importantly, how these things would help you actually build on the resilience, most important in daily life. Speed, how we look at the failures, most important. We always see the failures are, here goes way. We should always look at failures as something that takes us one step closer to the success. That's what I learned from the startups, that you fail fast in this fast-paced and very serious modern world. 10 years in Aristocrat was the foundation of my 20 years of experience, where I rose to the level of direction of business strategy there. Managed a team of 75 plus people comprising of designers, engineers like you, testers, mathematicians, reliability development engineers, security analysts, and that's where I learned a lot how to actually build upon a team and lead that team that perform and conquer one market at a time and go from there. Next thing, the very recent is the 1.5 year test run in the digital transformation space with Doctor. And as someone was mentioning about meeting the portfolio manager, I have already left Doctor this week because I had completed the mandate that was given to me about digital transformation. It was a good experience for me again when I see engagement side because something to look into a very highly regulated industry like finance, bringing AI, technology, data, and everything to a point where it is very relevant. Keep controlling the quality of it as it is a regulated industry as well. And today I'm a well-known mentor, author of next level skills. And I have been actually mentoring a lot of future leaders like yourself, so USW, Finance, PMO leader, and top mate. And I'm presently building a startup, very recently we started working on SBI space already. And I will, like I was mentioning about, which I will come back to briefly discuss on that as well. So, if I were to distill down one line, so you guys for my entire 20 years of experience to do this. Learning journey always continues. So it never stopped that when I joined and it never stopped that when I joined as well, it continues. And that's something I want you guys to remember today. Your degree is just a foundation, learning is what continues on that. So, when you talk about the evolution, I think it's very important in the emerging space of technology that we talk about the history of technology itself. Because I think that's where the whole idea lies. Once you understand that technology is also evolving with time, people are learning as they go from this side to that side of the time. It's very important that we keep that diversity, that momentum of learning. And I want to start with let's think between you guys, but I want to start with the fact that why do you think is the most important transformation of this right now? You have to think about it. Every generation would say, or you want to see iPhone servers, technological evolution. Someone would say the cloud came and it was very important in their life. Someone would say AI is currently that's going on very the one that is the most transformative challenge that we are seeing right now. And you know what? Everybody is right. We had this technology going on from one place to another, and at that time when people were looking for this transformation, they were looking at every time their life-changing transformation at that time. So they are all right. And that's why I wanted to draw attention to today this slide too. Right from the start, when we had one year between 5 things, the ability to generate survival, community. That was the first innovation, the technology that made us really new. 3,500 years before Christ, the beginning, brain, movement, civilization, the first platform technology that connected everything. 1450, printing press. Gutenberg just didn't print books for us. He democratized knowledge. The first time in history, the knowledge was able to go faster than the people were searching for that. In 1750s, the famous industrial revolution, and energy, steam power, factories, mechanized labor, this revolution changed the world as we see for the next 5 to 6 years. 1879, we had electricity. Edison and Tesla gave us large power that helped us move forward. 1903, we had aviation. The Wright brothers not only to save us the plane, they made the geography smaller. The world went smaller. You could reach from one place to another faster. 1940, we changed the computing. We had the first computer that gave us the idea of logic and machine speed. 1940 came. After that, the mainframe in the 60s, personal computing after 70s and 80s, Apple II, Mac II, IBM PCs, software became something that we could do free touch to machines. 90s was the time when we had internet, obviously. Something that I can't overall because I was going around in that time, but global connectivity, the beginning of information stars, to be data center, information era, and all like that. 19 was the time when we had everything going on, and then came the mobile, AWS, cloud, Azure, iPhone, everything was like meant as a service. So we moved from information to things like services. And now we are in an era which is the area, and it is going on. It is going on big. So I wanted to talk about a bit more about AI. So we are seeing this in everyday life, in professional world, generating with that. LLM that can write, code, reason, do everything. Again, the AI that helps go and fix further, plan, execute, working, robotic, physical AI, in the real world, your trade, machines. Edge AI, intelligence on the device, like the iPhone, side of the phone, server, and again, the Raspberry Pi, which I'm building upon as my part of that. Quantum computing, beyond classical research, looking at a way to improve that computing power to the potential. AGI, artificial general intelligence, that's something AI is able to match up all single thing. So that's the only variety. But anything apart from that, is responsible area, I want to touch base a bit on that as well. Governance, ethics, and so on. I believe, in my opinion, like obviously we are moving very miles per hour, in terms of technology, but we need to guardrails that make it responsible technology for us. That's something we should think about any time. We are trying to engage with the technology, not just as a byproduct, but as a way we design the system. So, most of us creating the concept, that's something I wanted to actually highlight a bit more about. But what I want you guys to take away from this slide, I was very important in my opinion. Each way didn't reflect the law, it amplifies it. Let us think. Nothing reflects the last where they just amplified how they had before. The cloud is still the computer. The AI is not there to kill the need of engineers and managers. They are just fundamentally change the way we work. That's what we have to understand. The question is, are we adapting or are we just sitting there to see what's happening? That's the main question. AI is not real success. But it is very important that we are able to go to this whole journey with AI, understanding where it impacts our and where we can actually work alongside. Which I wanted to talk about a bit more in terms of the history of AI. So let me go to the next slide. Artificial intelligence is nothing that has been in the system that was 5 years before do that. It came into being in 1956 when it was first formed by Sharma and that was concept, but the word artificial intelligence was first talked about. And at that time, people really believed that we would be able to see AI in action in the next couple of decades. They really believed that we would have machines that would be able to think. But then came AI winter, not winter, we had a couple of times when someone had AI at that time, just went up, there was not their funding was dried up pretty much, and the promises that were looked at upon at that time was not really delivered. That happened in 80s, that happened in 90s as well. And as a result of that, the high cycle, which everybody was looking forward to, went on a bad cycle. I think that the most important breakthrough in AI happened when it was around 2000-2010, when not because the idea was very new at that time, it was because of the fact that we had very much computing power. We had all the data to look at. We were having computers that could actually utilize the data, do a machine learning algorithm and understand what we could get information out of that data. Image that deep neural learning networks change everything over that architecture over the years. And hence we were able to see AI evolve on an exponential growth in our looking at and last few years have been phenomenal looking at that technology. Then came the era of GPT, Plus, Gemini, Gen AI, and the most important thing is not something that we see in research, whatever. It is already in your word document. So by the way, it is in your word document. It's not the future, it's the present. Think about it. So what I want to actually would like to take from this particular slide is, if you're really putting your work on the AI, just think about it. This technology has let us down to nothing to look at from a technical perspective, but understand that whatever you are building should be built on the foundations, right? Not on the height of AI, but foundations have to be right. Anything that you build on AI, be amplified, whether there is a weak foundation or a strong foundation, so we should look at the strong foundation start with. But I believe the question is how we will be able to work very closely with artificial intelligence and not something that will replace us. And this is something I believe we will be able to, because we have seen the history, we have been able to work along with different technological advancements over the start of the era and start of the time. And we were able to actually work alongside. But I think the most important question that comes to is, are we ready? Are we ready? That's the very first question. But the readiness always requires a bit of preparation, right? Deliberate preparation. Not just something which is just an observation I will go through. You have to be ready with whatever is coming your way. And hence, that takes me to the next slide. So what I have seen in my career experience, industries have been very moving fast. And basically around three aspects of things: AI information, cloud and platform information, and the data, most important aspect of everything that we should think of. In any time we had this either one of all three good things to it. But in AI, it's a compounding effect, everything is put into related. And 3 years of development happening, ChatGPT dropping down 5.5, 16 after 5, so it's like pretty constant, because everything is to other machines, the cloud, the data. So I believe, that AI comes to a point where it is not just there. It is the way we look at technology, the way we think about technology, the way we try to put all all systems together. So it's the intelligence and the AI that is already there. So it means basically we have to decide things keeping this in mind. Make our decisions from a perspective, how AI will be able to help us do better, not just do better. When it comes to cloud and economic, there was a time when it was taking a long building an infrastructure from the ground up. But now it's just a door, like few lines, the infrastructure is ready, infrastructure, so IoT, that has happened. And the whole idea of API first architecture, you will have the system already ready to talk to the system. So it's all integrated together, real time. And it's never been so much difficult before because all these things were never the problem. Now we have everything interconnected, everything talking to each other. The whole system. And hence we have to really look forward to actually raise our systems level rather than just talking about the component level. Last but not least, data, which I said was very important. So any AI that we would work on, the foundation has to it comes from the data, right? So at Lockton when I was there, we were using this medallion architecture that had like 4 layers, iron, bronze, silver, gold, not just having duplicates of the data, but a systematic thinking from a system perspective, how we will be able to get useful information out of the data and help businesses understand what the data is really talking about. Businesses never had that opportunity before, now they have the opportunity to do that. But as we said, our team does it up. We just have to make sure that as much as we are trying to actually leap forward with the technology, we need to make sure that whatever we are capturing as the data is of equal quality as well. And that's very important. And I just want you guys to take one thing from this slide is that we live in an environment that has got a compounding functional environment. And whatever we do have to really think from a system perspective, and whatever we are building as a foundation is the most critical thing to think about from that. With that, I just thought, it would be great to just probably talk about a bit of my experience, and somehow being able to actually give you a gist of what I have learned, some key factors that you should probably be looking at in your life and move forward to your colleges and growing professional work. And these lessons are my hard-earned lessons. I have been able to actually go through the thick and thin of these lessons, so I wanted to just make sure that we share with you guys to make sure you guys understand the change, the need of the hours. So lesson number 1 was to find the technology is just 20%. People are educated. And it's a big statement when you think about it, right? We have got technology advancement, I can find in the past, over, but what makes us the common thread across the humans. And also that I was saying 25-30 component initiatives, but we never had a problem with technology. We had all the tools. We had heroes and software and reporting tools, everything was there. It was always the challenge was how we interacted with ourselves with humans, right? The prioritization, how you be communicating with people, how you put your business systems across, how you make people more productive and so so tools don't function on leaders. If you are somebody who works with technology, great, I want you to write that down. Tools never function on leaders too. So this is the mindset that we have to change. AI wouldn't come and then, off you go, you have to have that mindset, how you can drive the thing forward from that perspective. And like I was saying before, that's what I was mentioning before. So if you have a foundation that is not rock solid as it should be, then you can't really build a rock solid AI foundation on top of that. So I was rolling out Microsoft Copilot adoption across activities, the Australian user and officers across them. We came across a situation that there was no properly development, there was no change management aspects, there was no training across the fact how you should be responsible to do this. There was no governance model. And we were able to actually lift 15% of the field, but not from the algorithm or AI perspective. It was purely the fact that people had their point of view, how they were actually interacting with technology, whether it was sitting in their world, how they were using to actually, interacting when it comes to speaking with the audience, how they were using activities in order to, so they were definitely have to management. So it was always all about the human aspect of it. So just focus on building foundation. Just the idea of simplify it. If you have some foundation that you need, share it and better. That's the number 3. Architecture decisions are different. So we need to understand whatever we do from an architecture perspective. I know basically I was sitting in the same room for you guys. I would always come up with something. Okay, let's talk about building something new. But when we go to the organization, everything that we do are driven by the business issues. So if we do something that makes sense for technology, that fits the vision of the business, we have to need to do that. Not just that for the fact of something, right? If it is not fitting in the deal, it is not going to be. So the Azure data regarding architecture, I was talking about technical side, whether we need to build four layers of data or not. It was all about the technical business aspect that we wanted to do. We wanted the claims process handling the 30%, and we saw this as a business strategy opportunity to use that layer of data, right from language stone to silver and gold, that gave us the idea of how we could get this information from the data. So it was all basically this mission to get the real-time insights from the data back from there. So hence we decided to go on that architecture. And lesson number 4, last one, I had touched base with the government architecture. So biggest risk in any transformation, the business transformation between AI into the picture, or looking at how because of the it is very important to have those boundaries. That what we call the second pair of eyes. Always just have to double check everything so that's something we rule out for AI. Taking that whatever comes out of the AI, you have to go and check what are you trying to put forward to the client. Is that something making sense? What AI also can do. So it's very important, and I think from a finance perspective, because the industry of insurance has bigger problems because we have targets or technical side, because the cost is very high. So it's not just that you have paid time or have a long time. Your reputation is just good. So it is very important. It takes years and years and years to just build that reputation and take the moment to actually shatter it. So here's what I want you guys to take from that lesson. Design the resilience for data. Don't just think that resilience, governance is something that you look at and think would be very stable. Start from the fact that you want to build a system, a process with all the guardrails and the governance right from the start so that no difficulty is anything. Very, very important. And I want you to just take a moment to go through this more important lessons. I try my best to go through that in one slide. But there are 8 lessons, so everything just revolves around the fact that it is similar. Start with architecture design for business and so this thing for you guys. So I just want to make sure like we have students in the world, we have professionals in the world, we have academia and such great minds in the world. So I just wanted to see that directly, from my heart, which I thought would be able to do work in those connect the dots from having technology, right from the people studying, the other way, and the rest of it. So for students, just don't learn to do things maybe even faster than they are thanks to it. So learn just to do. That's where the whole career lasts. So once you start thinking about systems and have the right principles to work on those systems, tools will start to. So I personally when I go, I just look at, I don't look at understanding the system completely, I look at the principles and I just study systems some systems level. Radio intake that I like we go deep in one after that you have a broad understanding of how businesses work, so that I can make that connection to different activities and I will do that from the server. But you have that domain knowledge as well, which is the level of the field, so that at least when it comes to teaching anything, you know where to find answers. And most important, engineering is just a foundation, not the tool. I had my degree from University in India. I had my MBA from number 1 college in India, Australia as well. But it was never the end, right? It was just a start. I built upon it by myself and kept on, kept feeding my curiosity. So very, very important. Take that foundation, build your curiosity to keep you moving forward. So professionals, AI won't replace you, but definitely someone who will know how to do it. So I'm sure you guys will have that as well. But it is a kind of reminder for us. It's not a threat, in my opinion. It's a reminder that we have to upskill our data literacy and how we look at everything on systems that they go a level up rather than taking 12 hours a year to a level up. There's always a technology, there's always something for you to help fill in the gap. As we don't have people who can think from a business level. Lead transformation versus business. When I say lead, I mean by the whole perspective of getting the shift in the whole transformation space. Things about this. Let's go from making sure you have the whole mindset, the perspective yourself as a leader, you are able to actually do some sort of information rather than using other themselves as some sort of information. For academy, I think the gap between students activity is widening as we speak, and I think the critical one that needs to be activity cross closer more than ever. I think industry and academia collaboration is not negotiable anymore. There is a university level. So we should probably look forward to actually working as closely as was the real battlefield space like this technology. And hence curriculum must evolve at the pace of the field. So I thought I put together a very nice word, but I tried to capture the attention of that. Future doesn't belong to someone who understands easily everything. You belong to the people who can design, build, and deliver outcomes to it. When I say that, the system level is how you put everything into the ability to do better. It's the most important. Well, before that, I want to talk about a bit the book I had written, which I was talking about in the past. This is a sort of very personal to my heart because when I was going through the challenges like you are in at the moment, I never had that playbook, I never had that companion that could refer to, and I wrote it for everyone. And this is the guidelines for people that make effective even effective organizations or how they actually can build influence without the product business. So people are really good on authority in their business. I have been transformation executive, I always responsibility to finish internal quality as well. They have accountability, but it's very important to actually see how things will influence good outcomes. Thinking this concept is strategy, right? You don't have to really keep talking about and trying to make actually successful. You could do integrating all of it together and say entirely work together. And most important is having that mindset definitely because primarily is really providing the outcome. So someone in the room, if you are able to actually have a reach to find relevant, I will work to actually connect with you guys if I am available on somewhere. But definitely we can serve the bit from your students. So have a think about it. But lastly, thank you so much for having me. I will leave 3 words with you right. Design, build, deliver. So when I say that design with systems, build with good and deliver with full commitment. With that, I would like to say thank you so much for your